Good morning. Thank you for joining our webinar today. Today's topic, assignment of parental rights and relocation. This may be more applicable to people who are hoping to approach the court and be assigned with parental rights. So let me get into it immediately. Fathers and mothers would have parental rights over the minor children, so basically they can have contact with the minor child. They should consent to various important aspects of the minor child's life, for example, the application for a passport, enrollment into a school, traveling overseas. So those are the parental rights aspects. A third party, someone else, like your neighbor, can't say, I'm the neighbor of this child, I have rights to see the child, consent with me, let me sign the court paper, or let me sign the school admission documentation, let me sign the application for the passport because I'm the neighbor. That doesn't work that way. You have to have parental rights in order for you to consent. So all mothers, they will have parental rights and responsibilities over minor child. Fathers, if they were married to the mother, automatically, if they were involved in the child's life, paid maintenance, had care and contact and stuff like that, exercise contact with the minor child, made an effort regarding that, they would have acquired that if they were not married to the mother. Obviously, not all fathers will have automatic parental rights and responsibilities over minor child. For example, a father that made a mother pregnant, he went missing for 20 years, for 10 years, 20 years will be too long, 10 years, he came out of nowhere and said, you know what, I want to be consulted regarding the minor child's life. That will not work. He obviously abandoned the child, and he would not have acquired any parental rights and responsibilities because he was not married to the child and not involved in the minor child's life. And there are, of course, other very extreme examples. Let's say, he sexually abused a mother fell pregnant. Mother's mother now consult with the father, look for the father, he went missing. Automatically, he will not have parental rights and responsibilities over the minor child. But of course, married fathers will have, and fathers who are involved in the minor child's life, they will acquire those specific rights. Now we're dealing with a situation regarding third parties, and I'll use a simple example. I'll use grandmother, aunt, uncle. Can they acquire parental rights and responsibilities? Can they acquire the right to say, I need to see my minor child every second weekend? Can they say, for example, we would like to form part of the decision making regarding the minor child? If the minor child wants to apply for school, we should be consulted. Our consent should be provided. Should the minor child have to relocate to a different country? Or, in my example in today's video, can a third party acquire those specific rights, whereby that specific third party would be the caregiver, the custodian parent of the minor child, the guardian of the minor child, despite there being a living caregiver or living guardians or people with parental rights and responsibilities over the minor child. To put you in the swing of things, and for our example, let's say the minor child lives with the parents in Cape Town, but here an aunt or an uncle that lives in the United Kingdom would like to care for the minor child. We do not want that specific parent or aunt or uncle to adopt the minor child, because then automatically it means that the parents do not have any rights and responsibilities. But we want that specific aunt or uncle overseas to have the necessary authority to make decisions regarding the minor child's schooling, medical, property, legal, and so on. So that's very important. So you assign those specific rights to that specific third party. So we're dealing with a double barrel here. Two important legal aspects. The one is the assignment of parental rights and responsibilities, and the other one is the relocation of the minor child. So we're dealing with a lot of things. It's like high grade mathematics, for lack of a better way of explaining it. On the whiteboard or on my screen, I have a Word document, the notice of motion, and I think once I go through this notice of motion, you'll understand what the intricacies of such an application is. So there's two parts of this application. The one is for the minor child for the caregiver or the intended caregiver to be assigned parental rights, become a guardian over the minor child. And the second aspect is for the minor child to relocate to that specific country. And the way this documentation is drafted on the assumption that there is some type of dispute between the parents. The parents living in South Africa does not want the minor child to relocate overseas, and for this person to be assigned parental rights. So it's a dispute. It's not done by agreement. So we have to deal with both those aspects in a court application. So what happens is you draft the application. This one will be done in the High Court because I practice mostly in the High Court of the Western Cape. My offices are located here. Of course, I practice in other jurisdictions as well. So ABC would be the applicant. This would be the person that wants to acquire those specific parental rights and responsibilities. And for our example, we'll use it. We'll call it the aunt that lives in London. And D, E, and F would be the respondent. Let's say, for argument's sake, the father is nowhere to be found, and the mother is the one that has the parental rights and responsibilities over the minor child. She was never married to the father. The father was on the scene once and he went missing again. So that's the notice of motion. So the aunt wants to acquire parental rights and care for the minor child. Her premise is that the minor child is being neglected in South Africa. The mother is not looking after the minor child. The minor child is not doing well at school. She's not being fed well. She has various issues, various challenges, and therefore the aunt feels, you know what, I believe it will be in the minor child's best interest to be cared for by me. The aunt is, of course, while involved in the minor child. She lived in South Africa. She cared for the minor child as much as she could. But now she received a job opportunity in London, and she's now working there. Now she feels, you know, she can provide better for the minor child in London, and she has been providing for the minor child in South Africa. So it will be an urgent application, I would assume, because time is of the essence and the school term is starting soon. So you'll make the application. Take notice that the applicant intends to make an application to the Honourable Court on a certain date, on an urgent date, or soon thereafter as counsel be heard for an order in the following terms. Remember, different jurisdictions have different ways of dealing with urgent applications. South Gauteng High Court, Eastern Cape, and those places, they all have different procedures as compared to Cape Town. I'm using those three examples because all of them have total different ways of dealing with urgent applications. So if you are doing an urgent application in Gauteng, find out that side how it's done. Eastern Cape, Western Cape, wherever you are, Northern Cape, find out exactly how it works. Okay, so you're asking the court to condone non-compliance because a normal application gets done in the normal format. You file the application, the other party will get an opportunity to file a notice of intention to oppose. They will file an opposing affidavit. You will maybe reply, you will apply to court for a court date, and the matter gets argued. So that's along the normal procedure. Here you're asking the court, Judge, please do not attend to any other matter for the next hour or two. Please attend to my matter. The entire Western Cape must stand on hold, the justice system at least, so that the judge can attend to your matter. So you're asking the court to condone non-compliance with the forms. And of course you are bridging the time limits. Usually a person might, for example, have 2 weeks to do something. Now you're asking the person to do it in 1 week. So what are you asking for? You're asking that the minor children are placed in the primary care of A, B, and C, that is the aunt in the United Kingdom. So she wants an order that the High Court must, as upper guardian of all minor children within its jurisdiction, should make an order that these specific minor children should reside or be in the primary care of the aunt. So that's what she is asking for. But second thing she's asking for is that the parental responsibilities and rights of contact, care, and guardianship over the minor children, namely, so I see G, H, and I, and J, K, and L. Had there been more children, we would have dealt with the entire alphabet. But nonetheless, I'm referring to them as the minor children, and the parental rights are assigned. Have a look at that. Assigned to the aunt, the applicant, who is called A, B, and C, provided for in Section 23 and 24 of the Children's Act. So have a look at the Children's Act, Section 23 and 24. It allows for this assignment of parental rights. The applicant, again A, B, C, shall solely act as guardian over the minor children as provided to in Section 18.2c, 18.3, 18.4, and 18.5 of the Children's Act. So those sections of the Children's Act deal with the aspects of guardianship. So asking the court, Judge, as upper guardian of the minor children in your jurisdiction, allow me these rights. Afford me these rights. Assign these rights to me. So I can solely act as guardian over the minor children. Then we say the applicant's consent is not required for the application for the renewal of passports for the minor children. The children don't have passports. The aunt would like to obtain passports for them. Of course, she cannot get the passports on her own. She's an aunt. The parents must do so, but the parents does not want to consent to that. So what she will do is the court will grant her this order. She'll fly down to Cape Town quickly, take these kids to the Department of Home Affairs, get the passports, and leave the country. Then we go further. Only the applicant's consent is required for the departure of the minor children from the Republic of South Africa and to travel to and to relocate to the United Kingdom as provided for in Section 18.5. Section 18.5 says that the court can override the guardianship, consent, responsibilities and rights. Yes, that will more be a responsibility aspect. So what is asked in the court is, yes, court, in terms of Section 18, the parents' consent is required for the minor children to travel overseas and apply for passport X, Y, and Z. Under these circumstances, Judge, I'm approaching you. Only my consent is required. Great stuff. So the aunt can leave and go overseas. Then we're limiting the mother's parental rights, the biological mother's parental rights, because in the United Kingdom, they might say, okay, aunt, wonderful, I see you have guardianship rights, but you do not have sole guardianship rights. There is still a mother on the birth certificate. We still see the mother's name on the birth certificate and various documentation. Then what are we asking for? Now we're going a step further and bringing more sections into the equation of the Children's Act. So D, E, and F, obviously the mother, her parental responsibilities and rights of guardianship over the minor children as provided for in those sections. Those sections are being assigned, but we are saying those sections are terminated as provided for in Section 28.1a of the said Act. So in terms of Section 28.1a of the Children's Act, a court can terminate your parental responsibilities and rights. So what the aunt is doing here, she's saying, give me those rights, but take the rights away from the mother. So she's the sole holder of guardianship rights over the minor children. So that's very interesting. So we're dealing here with assignment and relocation as well, and termination of parental rights, all in one application. I feel sorry for this judge. A lot of work needs to be done. The respondent shall have the right to contact the minor children electronically, including by way of video calls, provided such contact shall be supervised to ensure that any communication is appropriate. Yes, we do not know the age of the kids here. Let's say these are little kids, and we do not want the mother now to say the wrong things to the minor children, just make them angry, whatever the facts are. And then point 9 can be any additional contact. For example, the mother can fly over to the United Kingdom and contact there. Should the children fly down to South Africa, they can have contact with the mother and so on. And point number 10, should the respondent, which is D, E, and F, oppose this application, she is to pay the cost of this application, a standard clause. Whoever, if she wastes the court's time, the court will have to make a fair decision there. Maybe she's justifiably opposing the application, or maybe there was good methods for that. She provided a lot of insight into the matter, and the court did not grant the aunt everything she wanted. The court might say, under those circumstances, I'm granting the relocation, but I'm not asking that the mother pay the legal cost. And further, and alternative relief. And then, of course, the normal clauses that the client has appointed me, my office, and if you intend to oppose the application within 5 days, you have to give notice of your intention to oppose and provide an address where I can file this documentation on you, or your attorney might do so. And then on a certain date, you have to file your opposing affidavit, if any. And then I say ABC, my client, aunt in the specific example, her affidavit is attached here to a confirmative affidavit, X, Y, and so on. And then place the matter under the recording, and that's where I sign and I serve it on the Office of the Family Advocate, and on D, E, and F being the mother in Cape Town. So that is it. Quite a mouthful. If you draft these applications properly and logically, it's quite becomes very easy. So what happens next? So you have your application, you know exactly what you want. You would of course have to attach an affidavit to the specific application. Your affidavit will explain some background information regarding who you are, very important, who the minor child or minor children are, who the mother is, etc. That's very important. The court needs to know that. The court needs to know some background information. How did you come on the scene? What was the involvement in the child's life in the past? We need to know exactly what circumstances the minor children are living under. In my example, what merits the application for relocation? What merits the application for assignment of guardianship rights? that is fine. So we know what's happening in South Africa. Things are not so well in South Africa. How do we know things will be better in the United Kingdom? The mother might have to, the aunt, my apologies, might have to work every day, 7 days a week. Can the children be cared for by her? Wouldn't it be better for them to remain in South Africa, maybe not have the best of grades, but be cared for by somebody continuously? I'm playing devil's advocate. So the aunt will have to explain, why she says she can care for the minor children, the education, the medical, whatever the opportunities the minor children may have. She will have to convince the court that it will ultimately be best for the minor children. Yes, South Africa, they have their family here, their extended family, their aunts, their uncles, everybody's over here, their school friends, their neighbors, and so on. The mother, of course, I mean, they do not know the father. The father is missing. But in the United Kingdom, despite all of that, they would live a better life and they would be better cared for going forward. So I hope that answers your question. I see no further comments. And thank you very much for watching. It was very interesting, and I hope to see you online again soon.